everyone, it is Lucy and I am in Seoul. It is our first full day. I am here with my boyfriend and we are going to be doing a little bit of cafe hopping today, a little bit of shopping around Apgujeong and Garosu-gil. I'm not sure about my pronunciation on those, but this is the first day of like a 2+ week trip. So we have a lot of jam-packed things going on in the next few days, which you will see in upcoming videos. So today we're just kind of going easy, just kind of chilling and hanging out, and I thought you guys could come with me. Don't really have the most amazing mirror, but if you're gonna do a little bit of a fit check, let me just want to wear something kind of cute and comfy today. So I have this little oversized kind of long sleeve fleecy polo from Aritzia. And then this switches of Jagger and Stone pants, my incredibly worn out shoes that I've been wearing every day of this trip. And I didn't actually bring a like smaller bag with me, and I might pick one up today because the shopping in Garosu-gil is really good. But I just have this big tote bag which has all my stuff in it, like my camera and batteries, etc, etc. Anyway, I'm ready to munch crunch some pastry lunch. I'm definitely going to be voiceovering a lot of this vlog because they play very loud copyrighted music everywhere. So I hope you enjoy my dulcet tones in post-production. And here I am, voiceover Lucy, everyone's favorite. But like I said before, today was more of a chill day where we were just kind of wandering around, and next up we headed to And Other Stories. We don't have And Other Stories in Australia, but I will say the price point here does seem a little bit exy. I know And Other Stories in general is like a little bit more expensive, kind of like COS, but the dresses are so cute though. Honestly, just the entire store was really gorgeous. And Other Stories is one of those brands that I really like a lot of what they have, but unfortunately we just don't have a like in-person store in Australia that I know of. Unfortunately, I didn't end up finding anything, but it was still really nice to see all the stuff in person. Then we came across another thrift store that was more menswear, that was more Max's thing. And we also came across the DS and Durga pop-up for the pistachio perfume. This actually hadn't come out yet in Australia, so I was very excited to sniff it. It's really good. And then because we were in the area, we knew we had to visit House Dosan, which basically has Gentle Monster tambourines and the Nudake? I'm not entirely sure. And again, another pop-up. While we were there, they had launched their collection with Maison Margiela, so we tried on some of those. They had all the pairs of sunglasses out to try, and it was like maybe 3 floors of Gentle Monster sunglasses to try on, so we, you know, tried them on. Seoul is well known for its kind of like pop-up activations, and we just don't get anything like that at home, so it's super fun to experience. Then on the top floor they had tambourines, which originally was a hand cream brand, like that was the first product they launched with, but now they do fragrances, home fragrance, like a bunch of different stuff. And I know they're technically stores, but there is something about the way that the activations have like these art installations and like the way they're designed that just, I don't know, like really gets my like creative juices flowing. Like there's something about it. Maybe it's deliberate in me, but there's something about it that I really enjoy, even if I don't end up buying anything, which again, I for some reason also didn't, although I kind of regret not getting something at Tambourines. Or getting one of these weird little freaky guy pastries from the patisserie in the bottom basement floor. That was actually really good, really solid, especially if you want something that's just kind of like salady, a little bit healthy, not super sugary or sweet, then I would definitely recommend that, especially because sometimes when you're traveling for a little while, you know, you're
tend to be just enjoying the eats. And I don't know about you, but sometimes after like, you know, a few days, I'm just like, I need salad, I need greens. So that was really nice to just get like a nice bunch of leaves. It was just delish.
Then we came across the first olive young I'd seen on the trip, so we just had to pick up a couple of essentials that we had forgot to pack, and also I just wanted to look at stuff.
One of these is not like the others. Oh! You try. Yum. It's meant to be a Jeju matcha iced latte. And that is good. What's good, Korea?
What's good, Korea?
Sip, sip, suck, suck.
Then we continued our wandering and shopping by heading over to A-Land, which is a very popular Korean fashion store that has a little bit of something for everyone. While I was off gallivanting on the women's wear levels, Max was down below and they had a full vintage section that had a bunch of cool like altered vintage stuff as well.
Yes.
It's the Mir store.
Honestly, I am jazzed about that find because I've been looking for like a basic singlet with very like specific kind of preferences for ages. I wanted like the thick straps, I wanted like kind of like a U-neck, scoop neck, and it has all those things, so I am very happy. Success today.
Okay, legitimately nothing could have prepared me for this location. We didn't plan on going here, but essentially it was a secondhand consignment luxury store, and it was quite literally stacked full of Chanel and Dior, and like there was just so much of it, and it was just all sitting there. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not used to going to those stores, but the way it was just so casually displayed, but it's like thousands upon thousands of dollars, like years of salary and work just sitting very casually. I suppose I've visited stores like this in Japan already, but something about the way that the staff were really chill and just like the overall display of the merchandise, if you will, just gave it this like extra sort of weird feeling. Maybe this is a really famous boutique and I don't know about it, but it was a very funny experience. But they had clothes and stuff as well. I was not in the market for any of these very expensive bags, but if you are, there's so many of them, as you can see.
Oh my god. He's so cool.
He's so cool.
Then we just continued to vintage thrift secondhand shop around the area. I was not actually that familiar with the secondhand scene, and the last time I came to Seoul was like 5 years ago. So honestly, I didn't have too many things marked on my map. I was just excited to explore, and we found a whole bunch of really nice secondhand vintage stores. This one in particular I thought had a really nice selection, and if I lived in Korea, I feel like I would come here more often to see kind of what they get in. Then there were some other secondhand stores like this one, which seemed to kind of have a bit more of like a singular focus. Like there were just a lot of Ralph Lauren or like Tommy Hilfiger polo tees in like every different color. So if you're into that, then good. There's so many of them. But if you're not into that, then, you know, you're not. Honestly, if you're into vintage or secondhand shopping, you could just come to the street and walk up it and find like so many different stores. I don't even think we went into all of them. But this one also was really cool. Spoiler alert, I didn't find anything on this day in particular that I wanted to pick up because I'm a little picky baby, but there was a lot of really cool stuff. And this was another store that I was not prepared for. We were basically ready to go to dinner, and I was content with the amount of shopping we'd done that day. Like I was ready to wrap it up and get some food. I feel like we should go into this one, and it was also bonkers. I believe this store is potentially affiliated with a celebrity stylist or something. There were a lot of pictures of celebrities on the walls, but again, they just had like so much good stuff, but it was all just like piled up like, oh yeah, this old thing. It was a shame that I was hungry because I think I could have stayed in there for ages just looking at everything. It was basically like a museum. It was so cool. Then it was time for dinner. I had seen this place online, admittedly on TikTok, mainly because they did a honeycomb makgeolli, which is kind of like a fermented Korean alcohol traditional style, and they have a little slab of honeycomb. I'm here to tell you that I think it's worth going, but don't get too excited for the honeycomb because I don't think the flavor is that strong. Still yummy, and I still thought it was like a really fun experience and the food was really good, but as a honey enthusiast, it just wasn't that honey-y. I believe this was like a cheese and potato pancake, and it was super crispy. It was also pretty rich, but the makgeolli kind of cut through it nicely, which makes sense because I think it's like a drinking kind of food. But yeah, it was a very popular spot. There was like a huge queue outside and there were like people waiting. So we tried to eat up and leave pretty quickly. Okie dokie artichoke, it is the next morning. We are staying around the area of Apgujeong/Garosu-gil, and we are checking out at around midday, but we still have time to check out one more cafe before we head off. So let's go do that. One thing about the cafe in this area is that they are super busy. There are a couple in particular that are the more famous kind of ones, and they just had lines that would go for hours, even though we went relatively early on a weekday. So we decided to head to this other one that I had saved / I had seen recommended, and I saw that it was called the Mamma Mia Cafe, but I didn't realize that it was like quite literally Mamma Mia themed. It took us a hot second to figure out why it was Mamma Mia themed specifically, but essentially Mamma Mia the musical was happening in Korea, so it was like promotion for that. Another day, another capitalism slay. So again, expectations were not high. You know, I do love a good aesthetic location, but a lot of the time, sometimes the food and drink is just like not it, but I actually thought the pastries were pretty good. Specifically this like savory tomato pastry was really good, the sweet one less so. And from recollection, the coffee was also quite good. So, you know, I don't know if it's still going at the moment or if it's a cafe that kind of like changes themes depending on the promotion, but it was pretty good, no complaints. And with that, the first video in my Korea series comes to an end, but stay tuned, my little rats, because we will also be exploring Busan and Gyeongju. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.